Howdy folks, this is Igor Brandeo, and in today's video I'm gonna give you guys a quick rundown of the drive modes and electronic selections you can make on the 2021 Yamaha MT-09 SP. It's also worth noting that this works for the regular MT-09, so let's get onto it. So there she is. Let's go ahead and flip the switch. And this is her dash. And to make menu selections, you use this wheel right here. And when you want to confirm a selection, you press down on it. This goes only on the right hand selections. And should you want to change the TCS mode or drive mode, you can use these buttons right here. So this is for the mode, and this cycles between the options. On this right side, you can only have two informations showing while riding, and you have to select between either odometer, trip time, fuel consumption, the fuel meter, the engine temperature, air temperature, fuel instantaneous use, fuel average, trip 2, trip 1, and then back to odometer. So you have around 10 informations to cycle through, but you can only show 2 at any given time. Let's move on. Actually going through the menu right now, and if we go ahead and click on the display settings, we have lap times. We can set that to either on or off, right? And this is the tacho color. So for this, you have your good old RPM gauge, right? And if you enable it, it changes colors when it's going up on the range. So it starts at white, goes to green when it's on torque band, then orange, and then red when it's close to red line. So if you enable that, it's colored, and if you disable, it's just white from bottom to top. Now let's leave that as on. And let's look now into the manual TCS setting. So over here we have these three options, which are all built into the TCS selection. You can configure each option individually. So first, this is the TCS, the good old traction control. You can have 3 settings on it, which is 1, 2, and 3. 1 being the less intrusive, and 3 being the most intrusive. And note that you can't turn off traction control from this selection. You have to go through a different route in order to be able to do that. So moving on, we have the SCS, which is stability control. You can set that to off, 1, 2, or 3. And it follows the same principle as TCS, 1 being the less active and 3 being the most active. And last but not least, on this setting, we have the lift control, which is basically an anti-wheelie control that prevents the front wheel from coming up under hard acceleration. And this guy has also 3 settings, which is actually 4 settings, which is off, 1, 2, and 3. So let's leave it at this right now. Then we have the vehicle setting, which will control the brake control setting, which is basically ABS. Again, also you can't disable it through this menu, and actually you can't disable ABS in any way on this bike. So you have 1, which is regular ABS, and 2, which is enhanced ABS, which takes into consideration cornering and lean angle from the IMU unit present on this bike. For now I like regular ABS, but I'll be testing this soon. Going back again, we have the quick shifter settings, and we can individually enable it or disable it to upshift or downshift. Currently it's on for both settings, but should you want to manually do your shifting, you can do that for both directions or one of them. So going back to the main menu, we have the shift indicator, which will flash the gear indicator whenever it hits the RPMs that you configured. So currently it starts at 6,000. I'll be bumping that up real quick. It's just that way because I've been breaking in this bike. And you have when it turns off. which is basically when the engine is cutting ignition already. You have maintenance intervals to be used by Yamaha technicians or whenever you do service on it. Units, which you can change from metric to imperial. Brightness of the dash to make it a little dimmer or brighter. The clock, and then reset factory settings. So pretty straightforward on this part. So now for the actual modes and selections on the left hand side. If you press the mode button, it will cycle between D mode, which is drive mode, which configures the engine power output and throttle feel, and the TCS mode. So going through the D mode, if you press these buttons right here, you'll see that we can cycle through the options. And following the pattern of basically every setting on this bike, 1 is the most extreme. So in this case, we will have full power and snappiest throttle possible. 2 is full power, but a little bit dimmed, smoother engine feel and also throttle feel. 3 would be still full power, but just a sporty city throttle, a little bit muted. And 4 is actually just half of engine power, so it's very undermeaning, basically for rain or snow riding, and very muted throttle feel. And let's leave it at 1. And now for the TCS, you have 1, 2, and M, right? M being the manual setting we just went through on the menu, but because you can't turn off TCS through the menu, even if you go M and everything off, right? You still have some traction control actuating. And 1 is actually everything on 1, and 2 is all settings on max, anti-wheelie, the stability control, and also traction control. So in order for you to be able to fully disable the TCS mode, you have to have it highlighted as I have it here. Press the up button and hold it for a second or 2. So let's do that right now. You see how it says off now? So this is truly traction control turned off for this bike. That is how you fully disengage the traction control on the new 2021 MT-09s, and also a quick rundown of all the electronic options and selections you can do on its dash. If you liked the video, please drop a like. If you like the content and want more, please subscribe as well. That helps the channel a great deal. And thank you for watching. See you next time.